It snows all year round. 2, the food out here is extremely bland. 3, moving to Canada makes you lonely. You're always alone. 4, there are no jobs in Canada. 5, it is extremely expensive to live in Canada. 6, you need to know French to live in Canada. Hi guys, welcome to my channel. I hope you're having a great day, and I also hope that you're doing great with your research about moving to Canada. I know that this phase is extremely exhausting, and you're always anxious because you don't know what's in store for you, and there's so much you need to research about because it's like a new phase in your life, and so you have so many other questions that are just like popping into your brain. I have had friends who have called me and asked me about like random stuff about Canada, myths about Canada, which I know that when I also hear them talking about it, it is silly, but I've been there too. So I completely empathize with you guys and with my friends when you'll have heard that there are no jobs in Canada or it's like super cold in Canada. So today I am going to be breaking, I think, 5 myths that you guys have about moving to Canada. For those who don't know me, I'm Alicia. I moved to Canada 3 years ago. I now make videos about things that I've learned along the way. So if you are in the process of moving to Canada, please subscribe to my channel. I'll really appreciate it, and don't hesitate to leave any comments or give me any video requests. The myths that I'm going to be breaking today are: 1, it snows all year round. 2, the food out here is extremely bland. 3, moving to Canada makes you lonely. You're always alone. 4, there are no jobs in Canada. 5, it is extremely expensive to live in Canada. And 6, oh awesome, there are 6 myths. 6, you need to know French to live in Canada. Let's start with myth number 1, that is the weather. Canada is, during the winters, it is cold than the countries that you're probably moving from, especially if you're moving from India, especially from like the warmer cities in India. It is cold. There are a few cities in Canada where it goes down to around minus 40 degrees Celsius. But the best part of this is that Canada is a huge country. You do not necessarily need to go to cities that are cold. You can always pick cities that are not cold. And also, even if you are picking cities like Toronto or Calgary, it is not cold all year round. It does snow, and it's beautiful when it snows. When you live here, you know exactly how to dress. You are not going to dress up in Canada like you dress up in Bombay. You're not going to wear like t-shirts and shorts. That's exactly what I'm wearing right now because it's summer. Coming back to that, it doesn't snow all 12 months a year. So you're dressing up for the weather. You are wearing your thermals. You are wearing really nice insulated socks. You are wearing a nice muffler. You are wearing like multiple layers of clothes and a jacket. So you're completely good. You get used to dressing up that way. Also, it snows for like 5 or 6 months a year, but then the other 4 months from June to August to September, it's beautiful and really nice and sunny and warm. Like the temperature goes up to around 24 or 25 degrees Celsius. It does not snow everywhere in Canada. So I live in Victoria, that is on the west coast of Canada. So cities like Vancouver and Victoria don't get as much snow as the cities in the east of Canada. But at the same time, Vancouver is also known as Raincouver because instead of the snow, it's like a wet winter. So you are escaping the snow, but it's still cold and wet. And again, the same thing with Victoria. It probably doesn't snow all those 4 months. It probably snows for a week. But at the same time, it is extremely windy and the cold pricks through you. So it is a cold country, but at the same time, it's not unbearable. It's not for 12 months a year, and you can surely do something about it. Again, if you move to a city where you feel like you cannot deal with the cold, Canada is a huge country. Move to a city where it is slightly colder than the city that you first landed in. Point number 2, bland food. Again, I know that if you're planning on moving abroad, this is the least of your concerns, but at the same time, it is something that's on your mind. So, I am somebody who likes extremely spicy food, and initially, I did put sriracha. I'll put like a bottle of sriracha out here to show you how it looks. But I used to add sriracha. It's like a spicy sauce to all of my dishes because I missed the spice. But then you slowly realize that it's such a multicultural country because there are so many immigrants coming from so many different countries who already moved here before, who are moving right now, that there are like ample of different types of cuisines and restaurants. For example, if you're moving to Toronto, there is a place called Little Italy. There is Chinatown, there is, I think it's called Mini India, I'm not sure what it's called, but like you get like street food, you get pav bhaji, you get like South Indian dishes and all of that. If you move to where I am living, it is like you don't get, it's not like Toronto, so we don't have like a mini India, but at the same time we do have Indian restaurants, we do have Korean restaurants, we do have like Japanese restaurants and stuff. So it's extremely multicultural, because of which you get to try different kinds of dishes. At the same time, you'll also be cooking, so you can get your masalas from home, or your local grocery store will also have like MDH masalas or different kind of masalas that you can add to your food. Plus, again, out here, because they know it's multicultural, and us Indians or people who are moving from different countries are all over Canada, they always have different spice levels when you go outside to order food. So make sure you let them know your spice level. Point number 3, there are no jobs in Canada. It is true that finding a job in Canada in your field is very, very, very difficult. You have to give yourself a buffer of at least 1 year till you find a job of your dreams or the job that you like. Last year I went through through a horrible phase. I have made a video about it. I'm going to put it up in the info, like in that info section thing somewhere out here, I don't know where it is. But last year was really difficult for me because before I moved to Canada, I've always had marketing jobs. But once I moved here, it was very difficult for me to have a marketing job, because of which I worked at Walmart, I have worked as a sales rep, like in retail. So it was like, it used to bother me, but at the same time, I learned a lot. And there's another thing that you'll realize is that like the dignity of labor out here is on another level. Electricians and plumbers get paid so well. I don't get paid that well. So the dignity of labor out here is amazing. You can find jobs in like in malls, you can find jobs in fast food chains. I know that's not what you're looking for, but all I'm trying to say out here is that it's not that Canada doesn't have jobs, because there's an influx of immigrants coming from different countries. It is a very competitive environment and people are fighting tooth and nail to get a job. You just need to remember to not give up, and also remember that you're not going to be broke. You can always take up a casual part-time job so that you're not broke, and like while you're working that casual part-time job, you can always like apply for multiple jobs and like then find the job of your dreams. So it's not that it's not that there are no jobs in Canada. If you work hard, you will surely find a job out here. It's not that you're going to be broke. If you like, you can always find a job in a different field till you find a job that you want to do. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Point number 5. Canada is too expensive. I think expense depends on your standard of living. I think Canada has done a great job by so different provinces in Canada have different minimum wages. So if you live in Toronto, I think your minimum wage is 14.5 or 50. Or 15. I'm not sure. I know the minimum wage in BC is $13. I'm not sure. Don't quote me on these exact figures. All I'm trying to say is that depending on the standard of living of a particular province, we have certain minimum wages. So even if you work as a janitor, you are going to be paid that wage. So your standard of living is not going to be like, you're not going to be, hopefully you're not going to be on the streets. If you know how to manage your finances, you'll be fine. Plus the 12,500 that you're bringing along with you is for you to sustain yourself for the first 6 months. I know that doesn't help. Okay, how do I make this better? Every province has a certain minimum wage. You will find a job, maybe that's not in your field, but you will be able to manage. You can work 40 hours a week, find an apartment for the first few months that's not too expensive. Try to minimize your expenses for the first few months. Try to not eat outside, eat at home. So if you manage your expenses, it's not something that you will not be able to manage. But one thing I learned after I moved here and after I'd already spent so much money is that when you go shopping in Canada, all the prices don't come along with taxes. So at least in India, when I go shopping, I know exactly how much I'm going to be paying at the counter, because if I want to buy like a bottle, and this bottle, the label on this bottle says $19, I'm going to go to the counter and pay $19. But in Canada, depending on the province, you have an extra tax that's associated with this. So if the bottle is $19, I go to the till and I know that there's a 12% or 13% tax on it. So the tax in Canada, again, you're paying taxes on almost everything in Canada, except for things that are not in a package. So if you go to like the vegetable section of a grocery store and you're picking up like broccolis and cucumbers and bell peppers, if it's not packaged and if it's just like food and fruits, like whole foods, you're not paying taxes, but you're paying taxes on everything else. So like if you keep that in mind, it is a little expensive because you're paying for taxes. But trust me, I'm a spendthrift, and if I could manage, you can manage. It is not expensive, it's just up to you on how to manage your expenses. I know that, I'm pretty sure like the cities you come from are not like cheap cities either. The world in itself has become like super expensive right now, so you're gonna be good. Okay, where are we? Point number 6, you need to know French. I don't know who spreads all of this. Like even before I moved here, everybody like scared me saying that I had to know French to move to Canada. I did learn French when I was in school, but I can understand like a few words. I don't know full sentences. And till date, I have never found the need to actually speak in French. Canada is a bilingual country. Is that what it's called? Their official languages are French and English, but except Montreal, the country speaks in English. So wherever you go, they speak in English, unless you're planning on settling down in Montreal, which I haven't been to, so I cannot speak for that province. I think if you're not planning on going to Montreal and you want to be the rest of Canada, you're good. You do not need to learn French. Just extra information, I'm learning Spanish right now. I don't give a shit about French. After I shot this video, I realized that I didn't talk about the loneliness myth about moving to Canada. So here I am in a different format. Moving to a different country can be extremely lonely, especially if you're moving alone, and I moved alone. But there again, like I've mentioned before, Canada is such a multicultural country that you will for sure find people from your own country or from your own city, which can be a great thing, but at the same time it can also hinder your growth and your international experience that you came here for in the first place. But to counter that, there are various meetup groups. There's an app called Meetup. There are so many Facebook groups that you can join where you can meet different kinds of people who've moved here, expats who've moved here, immigrants who've moved here. There are like different passion groups, so groups that go cycling together, groups that go running together. So you're never going to be lonely. You're always going to meet people out here. It is a country that is open to new immigrants, so that you'll find lots of people like you. I know it's very easy to say this for me, because I am a very social person. I am an extrovert. If you're somebody who's an introvert, it could be difficult, But I promise, if you make an effort, there are other people like you who really want to be friends with you. So you'll be completely alright. These are the 6 myths that I thought I'd break. I really hope that these were beneficial to you and you got something out of it. I really hope that this video has helped you make up your mind at least a little. If you have any other doubts or queries, please don't hesitate to leave your comments in the comment section below. Like I said, I completely empathize with you. I have totally been there. I've done this entire research about moving to Canada too. So chances are I already know what you're looking for. So don't hesitate to leave your comments in the comment section below. Please give this a big thumbs up. Please share this video with your friends who are going through the same turmoil that you are, and please hit the red subscribe button. It just encourages me to make more videos. Alright, see you soon. Bye.